Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon Everyday Earbuds, the perfect bass model for premium sound, with active noise cancellation to block out distractions and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They're ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit rayconglobal.com. That's rayconglobal.com and elevate your listening experience.
You got B3 Picks here at it again. Proud to announce a brand new partnership with BVO Sports TV and B3BoxingPicks.com. Let's go green. At B3BoxingPicks.com, we provide pre-fight boxing picks of the week, but also live boxing betting options so we can make money pre-fight or during the fight betting on the beautiful sport of boxing. Join now, only $10 a week or $25 a month by visiting B3BoxingPicks.com for the membership. Also follow me on all socials at B3 Boxing Picks. Follow my YouTube, Not Another Boxing channel, presented by B3 Picks. And shout out to the People's Network, the one and only Sports Talk Network. Let's go green.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy, BVO Sports TV. I'm in the house, but before I get started, I want to send a big shout out. June is Men's Health Awareness, Mental Health Awareness Month. So I want to send a shout out to all my brothers that's struggling. If you're struggling and you need some help, man, there's nothing wrong with going to get some help. BVO's been there. I've been in counseling a great deal as an adult. So don't be afraid to go get some help if you're struggling. Man, don't bang yourself. Don't hurt yourself because God loves you, man. And we all know, Jeremiah 29:11 says the best. For I know the thoughts I have toward you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, and to give you an expected end. So I want to make sure I let everybody know this is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So I want to get that out there. Salute to my brother Mike Run popping in early. Salute to my man Big Dog Willie. Salute to B3 Picks. Salute to man Crush. My man, my right hand man, Pride Spider in the house. But we about to get started, man. So we got a big show today. We're talking about what happened to the traditional family. It's a little bit different than we talk about, but we all know what's going on in boxing. Theo Duck Devin, which is ridiculous. Little Red is fighting Lamont Roach. So I'm gonna play something for all the Tank fans.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women.
Straight like that. Straight like that to him.
So shout out to all the Tank fan girls, man. I hate y'all too. But we back. We got to talk about this. But I'm gonna ask you guys something that really has gotten me. Have you guys noticed the divorce rate is almost triple in the Black and brown community compared to our white counterpart? What do you guys think about the divorce rate being? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, say it again. You kind of faded out at the end.
Okay, what I was saying is, what do you guys think about the divorce rate in the Black and brown community? And somewhere in the Black community, it's around 54%. And the Spanish community is around 48%. Why do you guys think the divorce rate in Black and brown couples is so much higher than we see with our white counterparts?
I think it's because people just jump into relationships. They jump off the bridge and get married. And then start learning a person and they don't, they make some kids and they say, you ain't with that person no more. I mean, I could say it with just as many words as I just did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
People
and I'm
jumping off the bridge into relationships, going to have kids, doing all these things, dog. Come on, man. You bound
and,
for
and,
crash
No.
out.
and the reason I bring that up, and I'm gonna pass it to Crush after this. Salute to my man Puerto Rican Free. Salute to my man Varnell Hill. He's in the house.
Shout out to the
But let me
fat
say,
bastard, man. Shout out to the fat
hold
bastard.
on, hold on, man. Let me put this monkey in the back. My bad.
Yeah, man, that's not Cosby Show. The
yeah,
B word ain't Cosby
this.
Show.
Let me get this monkey in the back, man, and make sure he cool. And then we gonna bring it back up. Dub
Hey,
want
you
war.
gonna have to
Hold
keep throwing me in the back,
on.
motherfucker. I told you.
Hold on, we having a serious conversation. We have a serious conversation. Dub has made it. He want war tonight. We don't want no war. You know, we men of peace. We men of God. So I'll say this, man. This is what I'll say. I'm just at the point now where I've never seen. I've seen where you have so many baby showers and things, but you never see a man there. I don't know if that bothers you guys, but that's something that I've noticed to be
It's on site,
rampant.
motherfucker. It's on site.
Whoa, whoa!
Every time I get a chance, since that's what you want to say, I'm
Out of
just gonna
Hey,
order.
here we go, man. Hey, we trying to
it's
have a
on site.
serious
I told you what
conversation,
it was.
man.
I
We
told you
trying to
what
have
it was from the
we
beginning.
trying to have a serious conversation,
I
man.
told you what it was. It's on site. And this what you wanted. This what you wanted.
This
I
ain't what
didn't
I wanted. Hold on,
what,
let me go back to this real quick. Let me go back to
no,
this.
fuck all of
And
that.
the
No, damn all of that.
we're not gonna do that live on there. But I'll say this: the thing that's
The
so
right
funny.
side is a racist.
I'll say
Good.
this: the thing that confuses me is why you see so many women comfortable being single and not having a man in their life. What do you guys think about that?
It's a bad
What?
situation, man. Ugly situation. Go
Um,
ahead, you go first.
yeah,
No, I was just gonna say we in an age where women are more educated than men, and therefore they have more opportunities at different jobs and
It's on
more
motherfucking
high
site.
earning and
When it's
yielding jobs than
time,
men.
we're gonna
Come on, Dub. Come on, Dub.
we doing it. We doing
Calm
it.
down.
We
We're
doing
not
it.
Stop
doing it, dog.
crying,
We
We
Dub.
done.
do it.
Stop crying.
We
Nah,
done.
shut your ass up, Marky. You ain't got shit to do with
You're
it.
racist.
Nah, man, who cares? It's on site with the fat bastard right
Well,
now.
clearly not you.
I only got 1 day. It's only 1 day for me. It's only 1 day.
Well, let me do this. Let me do this. Go ahead, Mark, because you spitting some
Now you
game
gonna
on
have
that.
to take
Let
this
him
one. You
finish.
gonna have to take it, nigga.
Let him
Take
finish,
that
Dub.
like
Let him
Diddy.
finish, Dub.
Put this, give me the Diddy drop, nigga. Give me the Diddy drop. Take that, nigga. Because nah, it ain't.
No did it. I said no did it. I say no did it. No did it.
Nah,
All right,
BBO's my brother. I'm
so
in
we
order.
back.
I'm gonna be in order now. I'm in order
Okay,
now.
okay.
I just had to get that off my chest. You said what you said, so
Hey,
I told you what it was gonna be. I told you I was gonna be out of order. I told you that.
hey. So let me say this. Let me say
That
this.
was crazy.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mark. I know you want to say something. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just saying, in today's day and age, women, a lot of women are a lot more educated, than men. They have the opportunity of more high, earning and yielding jobs, and a lot of dudes just aren't motivated like that to go get their education or to really do anything past high school outside of maybe getting a job. So, and then on top of the fact, we see it more in today's day and age than maybe back then because, a woman, her place was in the house. So she had to rely on a man to bring in that money. And it was really more like a partnership between the two of them, where she holds down the house, she deals with the hygiene of the children and the homework and whatnot, and then the man makes sure that the world stays on its axis by bringing in money. But a woman, she doesn't have to deal with that, and because she can go get her own money, and on top of the fact, yeah, she just don't have to deal with whatever it is about that dude, whether he's a drinker, whether even if she just don't like him, maybe he's ugly, maybe she just had a kid with him and it was something of that happened on the moment. She can get up out of there. It's not no contract between the two of them like that anymore.
Well,
I'll say this. I'm gonna bring you in. I'm gonna bring you in, free. I got you. I'm gonna bring you in, Dub, man. After I do this, let me set this up real quick for Chris. I think the thing that I would say, Crush, that's confusing is when I used to speak to my grandmother, you know, about being married and what it meant to her. She always spoke from a place of, this is my duty, this is what I signed up for, this is what I'm going to do. And I really feel like now you almost don't see that, to where you even see now where women are talking to men who are, I would call them like hybrids, where they have man, have woman, where they want to operate like a woman emotionally, but they are a man. And you see a lot of that now, where you got a lot of what I would call a beta males who let their woman dominate them. And I'm wondering, have you ever seen this kind of toxin that we're seeing now? Go ahead, Chris.
Not definitely.
Yeah, salute to everybody. Salute to the family,
Crush.
the chat, and the panel. Yes, I've seen it a lot of times, and I think it's a psychological thing, blended with self-esteem, so that all comes up in one. I think the reason why a lot of men are moist is because they just got soft for some reason. They made life harder for men. You know what I mean, especially for the melanated man. It's no excuse, but it's just facts. So, as Mikey Dan said, at one time, woman was pacified. See, this is the problem. I should have started this way. When you're a parent, okay, you raise your son or your daughter to what? To be independent on their own. So meaning when you become an adult, it's not a one standard, because women they raised to be adults. They raised to nourish children. So they supposed to take care of themselves also. But because of society, they says, hey, when a woman become grown, she gets a man, then she gets to live like a child. That's the damn problem. Because it takes two to hold it down. And I think one thing that fails in relationships and marriages is just people are just together, but they're not building. And that's the main thing that fails with couples. Y'all supposed to build generational wealth and things like that, and just instead of just going out and working. So with a lot of these men, no matter how bad or how hard society made it, they became soft and started using excuses. Right. So that's why you have women that have to go out and fend and be the forefront. But my whole thing is, in reality, you don't have to agree with it, but that's what the hell they supposed to do. Because if the man continue to do everything and the woman don't do nothing but pacify, then anything can happen to that man. He can get injured on the job when he's out indefinitely because of disabilities. You know, they got hurt. And the woman is just used to being taken care of, and the only thing she know how to do is just clean the house and cook. Then what's going to happen? So it's important that you take care of each other. It's supposed to be a team. It's not supposed to be one taking care of the other. I don't know what y'all talking about, who brought y'all up or raised y'all, but that's the problem with relationships today. And these men, no matter if you got locked up, you was on drugs, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up and become men. There's no excuses. I have seen guys that were strung out on drugs for 20, 15 years, 25 years, and turn their lives completely around. So these men, when they come through these, I've been in prison, you pitch yourself there. Nobody just walk around and just say, I'm going to just lock you up for nothing. That don't go around like that. It happened, but not on that level. So the men had got soft because they was able to hide behind the excuses of life is so hard. Man, life is always going to be hard. You got to bring it out.
Let me do this real quick, Chris. Let me bring this point up, and I want to bring this to Free, and I'm gonna go to Dub, and I'm gonna give it to my brother CDK. I want to ask you this, Free. We got an older man who's probably in his 60s who's being celebrated for molesting men. They call him the butt warrior. They call him the butt warrior. They got him on Pop the Balloon. They got him on all these shows, right? They're celebrating a predator. And I say, to me, I never thought that I would see a day when guys would want somebody who's a cupcake playing tough to be on their show, and they celebrate and play games with them. What do you think about this new thing where you see people celebrating somebody who's did nothing but take men's manhood from them? What do you think about that, Free?
Well, for the ones that celebrate them, I think they're sick individuals. But I think a lot of those people that have them on the show, I don't think it's so much as celebrating them. I know there are some people that somewhat are celebrating them, but I think for the most part, it's not so much them celebrating them. I think they're trying to pick his brain to find out how did he become like that? What made him decide to do things the way he did it? And I think a lot of the problem with a lot of people is most of the time people are too curious. They want to know, too much business, and instead of just saying, okay, that's a sick individual, let me just leave him alone. They want to figure out, hey, what made you go this way? Why you do that? What kind of guys would you targeting and stuff like that? So a lot of people always they very nosy. They want to know too much instead of just letting stuff be what it is. They want to know too much. And I think that's what it is for a lot of people. They want to know why he did what he did, what made him do the things that he did, and what type of individual was he looking out for to do the things that he did. Either way you look at it, it's still sickening. And I don't want to know anything about it, because one thing for sure, two things for certain, I'm never his cup of tea. So even if I was locked up in jail, I ain't gonna be your cup of tea. Then you could try your hand and trust and believe. You ain't getting it. We gonna be in there. If I gotta go down, I gotta go down. But you ain't getting it. Like I said the other day, I think we were talking. Me and CDK were talking. He's like, dog, people was being put in CP, putting in holding cells because they don't want to wash their tail. I said that probably would be me. If I know it was a dude out there trying to take people, I'm gonna be walking around funky. You ain't getting this.
That's crazy.
This gonna be funky.
See, speaking absolutely.
Yeah, boys is crazy.
You know something I heard, and I'm gonna go to Dub on this after this. Something I was reading this article. This guy was he's a rat bastard, as Marky would call him. A guy named Jake something. I think they call him Bobby Hill. So Bobby Hill said that he heard of a guy was in prison. A young guy was using the restroom, and the guy told him, a predator told him, don't even wipe off. So we dealing with some sick guys. But go ahead, Doug.
That's crazy.
I gotta say, first things first, shout out to everybody on the comment. Shout out to my brother BVO Land, Sombrero. I'm done, Sombrero. I'm done.
But
hold on, man.
I'm gonna just
calm down.
Damn, Mark, he always do that. He always does that.
My bad. I genuinely couldn't hear Dub. Go ahead.
Damn it.
Shout out to my brother Sombrero. We done. We good. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Prize, B3. We got to set that interview up. I got the email. Shout out to my brother Crash, D3, CDK. Look, there's some sick individuals out here. There's some sick, they sick. And the craziest thing is, incarceration, it can do some things to the mind, right? At the same time, I'm never going to get to the point where I'm trying to do this, that, whatever with a man. I'm never going to get to that point. It's not going to happen. And so all I'm saying is, this is why one of the things that we do here, when we coach, when we talk to the youth, those type of things, you don't want to put yourself in that situation to even be a part of that. You know what I mean? And I think that's where it started. You got to make sure that, and we understand individuals, they have their proclivities and all that kind of stuff, but we got to protect the children. And the way we protect them is by making sure that when we're around them, we're giving them the right information that don't even end up in this situation where this can happen to you. Now, when you go into that individual, I ain't gonna call that's what they call them, the warrior, whatever. I don't know.
Fleece Johnson. That's his real name, Fleece Johnson.
That's his name, Fleece. Thank you. Man, the man
he need to be canceled.
The man had a whole boondock show about him. That's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, all I'm trying to say is that you make sure, and I think that's where it starts. You got to make sure that we raise these kids the right way, that you don't end up in that situation. It ain't even something that comes across your mind because you're not going to be there. That's where we got to start it. And as far as he goes, he out of order. He been out of order.
He needs to be He was up there wrestling one of them young boys on the internet. Somebody sent me
Whoa.
a clip. He was
Somebody,
like
And let me
tussling
and
with
let
one
me
of the
and let
young
me
boys
let me add this.
on that balloon
Let me
joint.
add this so we don't go.
somebody need to put hands on the man.
Yeah,
Look.
he needs to be
Let
And
stopped.
me
when
let me
I
add.
say put hands on him,
He need to be stopped.
I don't mean to touch him anywhere inappropriately. I mean
No,
put
beat
fist
him up.
paws, put fist paws, feet, knees, elbows on him because he think this is a game. This ain't no game with you taking booty and all that. This ain't no game, man. What are you doing? You
Let
will
me add this
ruin the people.
context to it. Let me add this context to it, though, because I never knew this until recently. So when
Mhm.
Fleece Johnson was initially arrested, CDK, he had 5.5 years, and he turned 5.5 years into 40.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
definitely.
Wow. Wow.
Oh
just
man.
That's crazy.
just wilding.
Well, they said that
Oh,
Unfortunately,
they said that he entered
I
jail
mean,
when he entered an adult prison when he was like 16 or 17 years
yeah,
old.
16.
So
let
he's
me
been in jail all his life, and now he's out, and
let
he
me
missed what he missed.
let me go ahead and get my thoughts off my chest about Fleece Johnson. Because I really, really despise any individual like that. And I despise any man that tries to take advantage of other men. Listen, people put themselves in predicaments and they go to prison and get, for different reasons. And Son Crush said earlier, when you go to prison, you put yourself there. But don't nobody still have the right to violate you and to try to take your manhood from you. I don't know why he alive. I don't know why he's still breathing. I don't know how he made it through prison doing the things he done. I done almost 20 years, bro. Listen to me. I never thought about being with a man. It never crossed my mind. The people that I seen, I mean, there's some sick individuals, but I never ran across people like that. It's somebody told me one time, and this made sense, and it might sound crazy. There's too many if you want a man, there's too many boys in there. We call, homosexuals, they call them boys in prison. There's too many boys in there that be wrestling with a real man. That's what they used to say. So you got to be a sick and cruel type of individual to even think about, what I'm saying, rape. No, I ain't gonna say that we're taking something from another man or doing stuff like that.
Great, man.
Okay,
Great.
Fleece. I ain't know if I can say it or not. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
great. You can say
Fleece
great,
Johnson,
great.
he's being celebrated. He's being celebrated. And the reason I say he's being celebrated, let me ask y'all a question. I think that I got a pretty good feel for everybody up here that I call my brothers. I don't think any one of y'all would want to interview him. I don't think
No,
any one of y'all would want to know
no.
why he was taking cheeks. I
You
don't
know
need to
what
know
it
why he
is,
was taking cheeks.
CDK? It's the young boys. It's the young boys. The YNs is the
No,
one that's
like the
glorifying him.
stuff he.
They the ones that got
Hold
him
on.
on the pop the balloon
Go ahead.
challenge.
My bad.
They done got
Hold,
him doing all this internet stuff. It's the
yeah,
young boys that's
yeah.
so intrigued by him, and that's
Let
why
me, I'm on.
that's why he's buzzing the
Let me
way
do
he
this real
is.
quick. Let me do this real quick. CDK, I want to swing it back to Dub in this one question, and I'm gonna swing it back to you. Dub,
Okay.
what do you think about a man turning 5 years into 40, and every charge, and I looked it up, every charge on his record is something with taking advantage of another man. What do you think about that?
It's disgusting. It's one of the worst things that we can see in society. Um,
Mm-hmm.
in my personal opinion, this is just my opinion. An individual like that, man, you shouldn't be released. If you turn 5 to 40 for doing those type of things, you probably need to be on death row. In my opinion, that's my opinion. In my opinion, and the reason I say, but the reason I say that is because just think about the individuals who may have had 5 years, right? Had an opportunity to come back to society, be productive in society, and now you done violated that man, and then that man comes back and violates once again. One thing that we
Yeah,
understand about predators is, and especially sexual predators, when you do these things, you create other predators. That's what you do. This is a fact. If you look at the records on it, this is a fact that individuals who have been treat it that way. I'm gonna put it in that I'm gonna case it like that. Been treated that way. They come out and do the same things, and so now what you've done is you took a dude who had 5 years for whatever, and now you've moved and changed him into a predator when he comes out, and he's doing the things that was done to him in jail. He's doing those things on the streets. This is some of the worst stuff that we can have in the community. And so at the end of the day, like I said, the man need to be on death row, in my personal opinion. He should have never been left off. When you going to take like CDK would say, and shout out to my brother, I say it respectfully to you, knowing that you done spent time in prison, but when you go and taking cheeks like that, what do you think that these individuals are going to do when they get released? When they get released, they go out and they're the individuals that end up on these what's the list they call them? Well, you got
America's Most Wanted.
No. He talking about when you got a registered sex offender list.
Oh yeah, don't say that word. Yeah, let's not say that word.
The registered. We're gonna say the registered.
Okay.
The registered list. You're gonna end up on the registered list, and 9 times out of 10, when you end up on that list, you've done something to minors, to individuals who weren't able to protect themselves. That's who you're doing these things to. It's some of the worst stuff, some of the most disgusting things that we can have in society. That man, and I ain't got no remorse saying it. The man should be on death row, in my personal opinion.
And I'm gonna swing it back. I'm gonna swing it back to what we were saying with the family, because a guy like Fleece is a black hole. You can just get lost with that dude. But I'll say this: when it comes to what I'm saying about, marriages, girlfriends, hanging out, I think it's different too, because you're seeing now with the different trials and the different allegations where you'll see a woman who will say she got raped, but she'll be dating a man for years. Or she'll go back to him multiple times, but they'll still say, "Hey, I got great."
Cassie Ventura.
Man, that's a serious thing too, BVO. When a woman says she got great, I think people don't understand that they have a lot of psychological problems and stuff. I dealt with a woman like that, and she used to take me through a lot of stuff that I couldn't understand at first until she broke down and told me what happened to her. Man, you mess a person's whole life up with stuff like that. And I want to say one thing for sure to the men that go to prison and come out straight. A lot of people, when you go in there and doing that type of stuff, it was already in you. It was in you. You know what I'm saying? I truly believe that it was in you, because I don't care. I've seen too many men. I'm talking about when I say men that's been locked up 30, 40 years that never went that way. Never thought about it. To me, I never believe they thought about going that way. But they
thank the good Lord, CDK, man. Shout out to the brothers, man. Can I get in on this, BVO?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, man, because I appreciate you, man. Man, let me kick some player shit for everybody, since we had to kind of listen to about Fleece Johnson. I don't know why I'm on here talking about a guy like that. Why? But let me do this real quick. Listen to this. Big VA. Y'all can hear this?
Yeah.
Shout out London. NA, let's get it. She loved me for my sex appeal. I've been popping it and whipping it for real. I walk it like I talk it, that's a deal. Turn a dream to reality, Bill. Run up 100 and some dunks, will. She loved me for my sex appeal. So much game, I can get T.O. chill. October, we in Saudi still. Hold that 11 mil and run it up. Tank toe turkey to double his stuff. Any fight costs a few more bucks. Need a KO. My bad.
Y'all dropped some fire from my man B3, man.
Hey, that's the answer. I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I'm dropping a little
salute.
That's just
salute to my
I'm
man
working on
B3.
something, man. So
excuse me,
shout out to all the guys,
and you doing that Mace type of rap. I like that Mace rap. I like that. But
yeah, I'm already know.
But back to what we're talking about. I think the thing that's so crazy is you see a lot of women who've become emotionally bankrupt. That's a new word I heard someone say when I was in therapy, and I think that's crazy that somebody can be emotionally bankrupt, because you hear a lot of women say, "Oh, can you pay my bills? Can you do this? Can you do that? But then if a man say, well, there's a room over here, whatever you need, we can take care of in that room. You have a lot of problems, but money won't be one of them when you come out this room. Why do you see women get frustrated when men say that, but they think men should just empty their pockets out to them and do whatever for them? And what scares me, I don't know if it scares you guys, these younger guys, they will beat your daughter. They won't talk to her, they won't scream, they'll beat her. I've seen these young dudes beat young girls. That's what they do. And I guess when I say what happened to the family, you never hear nobody say they want to be a family. You always hear people say, I want to have children, I want to do this, but they're talking about being single, whether it's a young man saying he's going to be single or a young woman saying he's going to be single. We seen Usher, who I never thought was straight. No. We seen Usher have 2 sons and not have a woman ever around. That's the weirdest thing in the world. There was no reason, and I'm not saying it to anybody who's raising their kids. I'm saying Usher just had kids. He didn't even have a relationship. I don't agree with that. What do you guys think about that? People having kids, no relationship. What do you guys think?
Well, that's life. To be honest with you, it's really not too much to think on it because that's life, and that's been going on since the beginning of time. We think too much on some things. You know, the first civilization, people was getting around and they was reproducing. There wasn't no marriage going on. So we can't act like this was the beginning because that wasn't that. That ordinance/law came later. So you can't change the nature of reproduction. No matter if you feel as though that if a child is created out of what they're supposed to do. We can't say that. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this, Chris. I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to ask you this question. I'm going to get out your way. From 1930 to 1970, Black people had a 98% marriage rate when they had children. From 1940 to, let me put it right. From 1943 to 1968, they had a 98 percentage of people having children that were married. To where it was almost unheard of to not be married and have a child. But go back to what you said.
Yeah, well, that's good for those times. But you know, yesterday's numbers ain't today's numbers. You know, but things have changed since then, BVO. Things have changed. What's you know, things that they put together to start breaking the families apart. It just became a plague. You know,
Amen.
Locking men up for all type of things. We talk about men being locked up. Let's talk about the men that's in prison that shouldn't be in prison.
Right.
So many innocent men sitting doing years, have done years, and didn't even commit the crime.
I agree,
We don't
Chris.
talk about those things. What happened to the mindset of those men when they get set free? Because they wasn't the type of beast to be in there. Because the cage is only made for animals. I'm going to say it again.
That's
Cages is only made for animals.
I agree. I agree, bro.
The moment you act like a stray-ass animal, you taking yourself to prison or jail.
That's right.
There's going to be some other animals in there, and animals are territorial. And all type of weird things happen.
I just don't know how.
My dad said going to jail was the best thing that ever happened to him. What about people like that?
That can be true. That can be true. That can be true.
Yeah, you got Bernard Hopkins.
I mean,
some people need that.
At the same time, even though that's a true statement, the reason your dad would say that is because he was out of order.
Right.
And it helped him get back in order. No, seriously.
Hey,
real talk, bro. Real talk.
Let me finish.
Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead, my bad.
He was out of order, and it helped him get back in order. You know what I'm saying? And you can always learn from experiences that you have to go through. You can learn from and become better. The thing is when you go in, and it's so interesting, like Chris brought up, the individuals who shouldn't be in jail. Those individuals, and in my personal opinion, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think that's a small amount of individuals. I think the majority of individuals who end up in jail, they probably need to be there.
I say about 15%. Maybe.
There we go. There we go. So that means 85% of the individuals there should be there. That's what it means. And so, man, learn your lesson, you know what I'm saying, and come out a better individual. The one problem I have with the jail system, and I want to get back into what you're speaking on as far as women, and that goes, but just speaking on this topic right here,
Yeah.
the one thing is that, man, we got out of order individuals all around here. Individuals they willing to rob, steal, kill from
Yep.
some of the most vulnerable individuals. Lock their ass up. Lock them up.
Yep.
It is what it is.
And I don't want to hear about no free so and so either.
Me either. And so, but and CDK, he brought out that 15%. My thing is, well, if it's 15%, that means the majority that's there should be there, and they need to learn a lesson. And the only problem I have is, man, rehabilitate these individuals. Give them opportunities in the jail, in the prison system, as far as learning, education, skill sets, those type of things. So when they get out, they have something to fall back on. Because you done been in jail for 20 years. I think I asked CDK this when we were talking about Larry Hoover. I asked him, I think I asked you, CDK, I said, man, how do you think he falls back into society? And you broke down, his family structure and the backing that he's going to have. Everybody don't have that. So give them a skill, give them something that when they do get out, actually rehabilitate them. When they do get out, they have something to fall back on, and they don't go back to the street life. Right. Don't nobody want that. We don't want you locked up. But at the same time, when you get out and you ain't got nothing but what you already know, one of the things I thought was so interesting, an individual, a friend of mine, was like, man, when you go to jail, you ain't nothing. You around criminals, and when criminals around criminals, we figure out how to do crimes even better. That's what he told me. And so, just go ahead. My bad.
My bad. I want to ask you this, Doug, because what you're saying is powerful. But when I listen to people talk about, my father, my grandma celebrated him going to jail.
Big Mom, my great grandmother used to tell me and all my cousins, we all the same age, right? Get what she say? Y'all need to be in boot camp. That was she would tell us that on a regular basis. Now, me growing up with her, hell, it was boot camp being around Big Mom. Shout out to Big Mom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But they didn't grow up. They didn't have the relationship I had with her. You know what I'm saying? And because they didn't have that relationship, I picked my own switches. I done seen switches braided. You know what I'm saying? I seen all of it. It made me a better person though. And I think that the lack of that home structure that you're talking about, men, women being together, the actual family structure, the lack of it takes away from the children. And then children end up being what? On the streets, looking for that love, that family, that guidance, right? One of the reasons I love, y'all hear me talk about it on a regular basis. I'm a single dad. My son, shout out to him, he with his mama right now. Shout out to her. But the thing is I'm like, man, if anything happens, I gotta make sure I'm in his life to keep him straight. If anybody can, I hit the nigga in the throat or the chest. Me personally, that's how I rock. You know what I'm saying? And the reason is because I don't want you in any other situation. You're gonna get your discipline and guidance here with me, and then you're gonna be able to move forward and understand how to navigate life. That's how I look at things. But when you remove that family aspect, that family structure, then all we're doing, and shout out to the women, the great women out there that's raising children by themselves. But statistically speaking, a man raised by women or more likely to be in jail than a man raised by a man. These are facts. And so you need that family structure, and the government, respectfully, They tried to shut it down, but now we're seeing a resurgence in the black community as far as fatherhood goes. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we've seen in the last 20, 30 years is the resurgence of the black man. And for them to be in their children's lives, showing them how not to end up in this situation, but how you can feel a certain type of way. You ain't gotta react on your emotions. You react logically and understand that all my actions have consequences behind them. And I think men do it better than women do. And that's no disrespect to the women. No disrespect.
Well,
Go ahead, Free. You been quiet, man. Go ahead, Free. What you got for me?
I was listening to y'all cook. I mean, I don't know who does it better. Me personally, it takes two to raise a child. Because I mean, especially if you have both sex, if you have a boy and a girl, it takes two. Because a man don't know how to be a woman, and a woman don't know how to be a man. Um, so you need both of them in a home. And that's the way the family was supposed to be. It was supposed to be two parents raising a child. Uh, but I think a lot of things happen because of the economy. The economy moved up, and both parents had to work. And so when both parents had to work, a lot of times these kids was left to pretty much raise themselves. So that's why we have a lot of these young kids out here doing things the way they do. And then it also came from the fact that a lot of people started having babies much younger than they used to have, because at one time it was really unheard of almost to have a teenage have a child. And there was some happening in the 70s and in the 80s, but it was rare cases. Now that's everyday thing that's happening. I mean, you could find a 14-year-old girl pregnant just walking down the street. You'll see a 14-year-old girl pregnant. Back when I was coming up, if you heard a 14-year-old girl was pregnant, everybody pretty much was looking at her strange, like, what was you doing? Who was you with? And it usually came from an older man. It wasn't so much a younger boy that she was sleeping with that she got pregnant. It was usually an older man that she slept with and got pregnant. And I think because people started having kids so young that the family structure kind of went away, because now you got mothers and fathers around the same age bracket as these kids. Because when you got a parent that's only 14 years older than their child, you hanging out at the club at the same time your kids is hanging out at the club. So y'all hanging out at the same club. I mean, I would look stupid going to the club and my son is in the club. I got my son about 25 years. I would look dumb going to the club and I'm sitting there hanging out with my son. But if you got a child that's right around your age, only 14 years younger than you, or 10 years younger than you, because I do know a young lady that had a child at 10 years old, and it hit the news out here in DC because things like that wasn't happening. But she was 10 years old, she got pregnant, and so she's only 10 years older than her child, and then she's going to the club. Her child is in the club with her. She's 28 years old. Her child is 18 years old. They in the same club. So it just things got mixed up when people started having kids at a younger age. The family structure went away because you have young people out still hanging out at the clubs and things like that, and then you have your kids at home by themselves, pretty much fiending for themselves. So they got to figure out how to cook, how to do things, and make sure they go to bed so they can get up for school tomorrow or whatever have you, while the parents is still hanging out on the street. So it just messed things up by having kids at a young age.
And like Free just said, the craziest thing about it is that I remember when, like I said, my grandmother, my great grandmother, right, grew up with them. Ain't no way my mama gonna be in the club. Ain't no way my mama gonna be in the club with my grandma. It ain't happening. It don't happen like that. Ain't no way I'm gonna be in the club with my son. It's not happening. And I like he said, when you have children at a young age, which is a huge problem in the community, but when you have them at that age, and next thing you know, the grandma is what 35, 40, the mama is 20, and the child is 6. Wait a minute. There ain't no structure. There's no structure there.
That's crazy.
Hey,
That's the
read that
truth.
comment. Read that comment when you get a chance. After Dub get finished, read that
It
comment for me,
says
Price.
it says shout out to Wise Sporting Bet. He says plus many women unfortunately have reduced our beautiful black men to hammers
Ding.
hammers and walking wallets, and they don't appreciate their talents, gifts, and attributes, so they single raising babies who don't value men. That's a pretty good comment.
That's actual facts too,
That
because
was crazy.
when you
Hey,
look
that
at
is true.
this generation of young women, everything is about money.
Mm-hmm.
And I always ask this question: if money didn't exist, women, how will you value a man? Because see, that's the problem with the dollar. Y'all think it's worth more than what it actually is. Well, on STN, sometimes we just gotta educate y'all and hip y'all to something. So let me give y'all some hip that's gonna make y'all hop real quick, okay? With the dollar. Since y'all praise it so much, it's so much value on it. Guess what? Every dollar, no matter what the amount is worth the exact same. Ain't no difference between a 1, a 5, a 10, a 20, or whatever. It's just a number. Because you cut all of them in half, you can't do nothing with any of it. It's just paper. And see, that's the underlying trick that had you thinking something is worth more than what it really is. That's the problem. And what they
Well,
did to society, real quick, BVO, let
Go
me
ahead.
land this quick jet.
go ahead.
And the thing with society is that they put so many things in reverse. So it's to a point that we disvalue what's really valuable and value what's not really so much valuable. That makes sense. That's the problem. They forget about the manhood. They worry about the dollar. They weren't about what the man can do for the dollar. What about the manhood of the man? Because a dollar do not make your manhood. Because everybody can have money, but are you going to have respect? Are you going to be responsible? Are you going to be given? And there's so many demons with money, and we see how they act. We had people with plenty of money and never did anything for their community or their people at all. I get it, we needed to get some things, but we overvalue it. That's just the facts. But real quick, the thing is,
I,
with the family thing is, you gotta look at it, the being locked up thing, and a lot of things started separating the home. And once they seen some of these marriages, which was at a high percentage, some of them started to fail. So that's another thing that, drove these people in another way of wanting to get married, because they seen a lot fail. Heard so many people cry day in and day out. I was a human pillow for a lot of my friends as a kid, because they was going through something I didn't experience. And they had their mother and father, and they married for all these years, and next thing you know, getting a divorce and things like that. And those things started happening. And it's just sad.
let me bring this part. This is a part that I feel like we missing. Um, there's a place for money, because anybody who know CDK can tell you this, because we from the Midwest. And when you in the Midwest and broke, am I wrong, CDK? Is it not pure hell to be broke in the Midwest?
It's pretty hell to be broke in the country. I mean, but what you know what I'm saying?
Everywhere,
I'm
What
talking about
man.
I understand,
what
yeah, you know what I'm saying, Crush. But let me
Everywhere.
say
Ain't
this.
no certain spot.
Yeah, it's anywhere you at, it's pure hell to be broke. But I understand. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I understand what Crush is saying though. Crush saying something real. Listen, man, we're
Yeah.
judged by $1 now, and I feel like that. What happened was, I go back and I be thinking about it sometimes. You know what I'm saying, in deep thought. The more freedom we got, the more freer we became. And what I mean by that is, when you have, it was a time that we needed each other. Black man and the black woman, we needed each other. We really needed each other because we all we had. You understand? They broke our homes up and everything. But once we was able to get freedom and they let us get free, we started dating. I mean, nothing wrong with it. We started dating outside our race and stuff. And we started straying off from each other and started realizing that we had a freedom that we never had before. And that's where a lot of things changed at. Then they started also incarcerating us and taking us out the homes. A lot of stuff has took place, man, to put us in the predicament we in right now. That's all I want to say on that.
I'll tell you this, man. This is a funny thing about how life goes. During the civil rights movement, black women played a critical role in that civil rights movement. And the main thing people forget about is the organization and the activism. When Martin Luther King was giving this speech, he kind of was losing himself. Mahalia Jackson said, "Tell him about the dream, Martin. Tell him about the dream, Martin." And then we got the "I Have a Dream" speech. You don't believe me? Pick up a book. You can read this. It's just exactly what happened. And the reason I say this, and I'm gonna bring B3 in, because B3 is a smart young nigga. This nigga's brilliant.
Small young brother.
Why
Small
can't
young brother.
young man?
Young brother. Small young brother.
CDK. I grew up saying nigga, man. I'm sorry.
Man, you got to stop saying that he's a man.
Hold on.
Yeah.
They said nigga on the Jeffersons. They said
I don't
nigga
care.
on Sanford and Son.
We better
Hey,
than
bro,
the
this the Huxtables, bro.
Yeah,
Man,
we better than the
You gotta
Jets.
tighten up, bro.
STN, man. We ain't using this word for a term and endorsement.
I told you, BVO, you better stop it because everybody ain't gonna respond the same to that bullshit. Oh, excuse my language.
Yeah, I don't like the word. I think
Oh, y'all don't like
it's
the word nigga? Oh, see, I'm trying to say I say nigga because I don't do a lot of cussing, so that's why I try to say.
Man, just say men. Just say men. You got to extend the vocabulary, bro.
Okay,
grinding them up.
We
He just having a little bit of fun, y'all.
No, Brian. Sometimes we got
BVO
that's my
the
brother.
type of guy. BVO the type of guy. He sit at the back of the class and eat boogers, man. You gotta
Don't start it.
Yeah. That's my brother. I got real love for BVO. I just want everybody to, as men, I think I hate that word. I do. I hate it because I just hate it. I hate it.
Depends how you use it for me.
I hate it no matter how. I'd rather you call me man, brother, anything. I just don't like the word.
Hey, but
I'm not
CDK, that's
listen.
a CDK.
I
That's
respect that,
100%.
CDK.
I'm in full agreement, and that's why, like, even like I'm just playing around with rapping and stuff. I'm just having fun, you know. And I really want my rap name or just like if I do put anything out to be no curse. You know what I'm saying? Because I know most older people, they don't want to hear young people cursing. They don't want to hear that stuff. So that's the
And you
whole
know,
thing.
I'm gonna drop a jewel on why BVO is so dogmatic about not wanting cussing. One of the shows I grew up, one of the shows I watched on YouTube was called The Boxing Voice, and Ness said the one thing he wished he would have did when he was coming up is made his show no cussing, because he's looking to go to another area and he can't because Nubians keep bringing him back. So I'll say Nubian instead of saying nigga. It's hard not to say that.
Hey, bro, that sounds good. And then what I say, I'm not cutting you off, BVO. I was trying to tell Pride this, and I told somebody at work this today, and I had to pull somebody to the side, one of my employees, and let him know, like, a young dude, he was using the word in front of a bunch of, it was a bunch of corporate white people around. I feel like, man, listen, let's cut that word out, because there should be a time where if you feel ashamed about saying that word or felt, around certain people, I just don't want to use words like it at all. You know what I'm saying?
CDK, you 100% right with
But see,
that.
I get what you said.
Now let me say that. Hold on, let me split some game,
I
BVO.
won't buy
Hold
a
on.
watermelon if somebody white is around. Like, if you know how you go to the watermelon man, if it's some white people, I won't go buy watermelon.
Yeah. I feel what you said. What's that, BVO?
I'm going to that goal to go back and get one.
Yeah.
My bad. I don't know. Has any of y'all ever did that? Been in line, see some white people that put the watermelon back, I've done that.
Put it. Nah, I ain't putting that watermelon back, BVO. I don't be who like I ain't putting that watermelon back.
Go ahead, B3.
You know, you already. Nah, you made me laugh, man. I forgot what I was gonna say, but
Man, this
nah, I was just
Nubian
gonna kick
here,
some
man.
games to the people. Yeah, you don't like so you subscribe Nubian. You said Nubians, you know what I'm saying, but we can't reference blacks in any type of negative way. You know, we can't put any deference on ourselves. So you know, I mean, we just gotta always use better word choice. Words is very important. Like for instance, like when I make my videos, I make it a point to refer to myself as at least guy versus boy. You see, because I would never want anybody to call me a boy, consider me a boy, because I'm a man. So
Yeah.
it's just like little things like that. You know, because people are watching. You know what I'm saying? Younger people are watching, and a lot of times you kind of gotta kick them games so they can like realize that everything you do is like highlighted. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to be at the top. You got to be performing at your top level. You know, you got to be thinking, you got to be cognizant, especially when you out here in these environments moving around. You got to be very cognizant of what you're doing, what you're saying, and who you interacting with, but also who's around putting their eyes on you because you never know. So it's very important to be on your P's and Q's.
And let me ask you this, Doug, because you've been in the corporate world like I have, but how have you been able to move in a room full of vultures? How have you been doing? Give us some game.
Yeah.
Man, it's interesting. The one thing I realize is that it's not about it, and hey, I'm a very well spoken individual. The way I talk to y'all, I ain't gonna talk to. I don't talk like that at work. But at the
Right.
same time, it's very interesting because one thing I've realized is that as long as you show respect and you have a
Mm-hmm.
command of your craft, those
Yeah.
two things they fit hand in hand. If I
They
if
do.
I'm
They do.
respect if I'm respectful and I'm knowledgeable, then
Hmm.
that's how I move.
Yeah.
If you got to come to me and you need this, and this done, and then I'm respectful with it, okay, hey, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're gonna show you love. And whether it's white, black, regardless of the race, it comes
Mm-hmm.
down to respect and knowledge. Be
Yep.
very knowledgeable and understand what you have going and what your job is. Not just your job though. What your craft is. Be very understand what you got going, and then
Mm-hmm.
be respectful to those individuals who are approaching you, and you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be
Yep.
fine.
I agree, Doug. I agree 100%. I just, I want to say this like with us. I feel like, man, we got some of the smartest brothers that ever came together on YouTube. That's just how I really feel about us. You know what I'm saying? Like we can do anything together. And I just it's certain word for me. You know, but I'm a little older, so I just been some things I've been through in life. Like, man, I just look at people different. I ain't gonna be this BVO my brother. If he said 1,000 more times, it ain't gonna affect me and that being my brother. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna affect you.
Yeah.
And he know me.
I'm going at his helmet. I'm going at his
I'm
helmet. He
going.
come the wrong way. He come the wrong way. I'm going at his helmet.
Say what, Doug? Say what, Doug?
I'm
Going
going.
yeah.
It is what it is. It
Going
is
It is
straight
what
to
what
it
it
the
is.
is.
head.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
Yeah,
you
but I
know,
still love
can
him.
I say this
Real
real
quick,
quick?
real quick. Hold on, real quick. I still love him. I still love
Right.
him.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I just told him, but we got a truce. We got a truce going now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke. But you
Cause that
started
was getting crazy.
I was. Well, like I told y'all, see, you started
he
this.
told me he was
Remember,
gonna.
you
He
started
did
this.
tell me he was gonna do. Go ahead,
The-
Puerto Rican free. Go ahead.
I was gonna piggyback off of what B3 said. The thing is, if you don't speak well about yourself, how would you expect anybody else to speak well about you? So you
That's a
you
bar.
always
That's a
want
bar.
you always want to put yourself in a
Bars.
good light, because if you give them an opening to put negativity out there, they're gonna thrive on it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Negativity is almost like sunlight. It needs a crack. Once he gets that crack and it gets that light through that room, it's gonna brighten up that whole room. So if you let negativity find its way in that room, it's gonna start to
Yeah.
spread and it's gonna go throughout
And it
everywhere.
won't
And
and it
every
won't
time you turn
leave either,
around,
free.
yeah, every time you turn around, somebody's gonna be saying something, and you gonna be like, "Hey, man, stop talking like that." And then you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
because you already opened up the door. So now it's harder to close the door than it is to leave it shut. Once you got it shut, it's easy to leave it shut. You put a lock on it. But once you open up
Ball.
that door and that crowd is trying to come in, it's too late. You can't close the door now. You already
Yeah.
opened it.
You already let them
Yep,
in.
yep.
I
You
want to
already
ask this.
let
I
them
get what
in.
you're saying,
Bars.
free, but
I
Over
it's
want
the
to
like
ask this
head.
niggas.
question.
Over
I
the
want to ask
head
this question,
bars.
though. I want to ask this question, Free. And I'm not disagreeing. At some point in time, and one thing I've also learned being in corporate America is
Uh-huh.
that people respect you for being you.
Yeah,
And there are times where, hey, I'm gonna use certain language that y'all ain't gonna use, and I don't even understand it. Well, I understand it now, but when I first started, I didn't really understand it that way. But it was interesting because I had a whole bunch of people who were like, you know what? That's how he talk. That's him. He being himself. And even
No,
though even though I may say, hey man, hey, what's up, my nigga? I might say that to my brother Diallo, right? I might say that. But at the
yeah,
same time, that's me and his relationship. I'm not gonna say that to my director. I'm not it's just knowing and understanding who you're talking to, who you're moving with, and the
but you
value and the conversation that you can have with that individual versus the value and conversation you can have with a different individual.
Hey,
no, no.
let me ask you a question,
I
Doug.
agree. Hold up, real quick. Let me answer this question. I agree with what you're saying, but if you're one of the ones that don't like nobody talking to you that way, you said is you always thought that you should be yourself. People respect you more for being yourself. Well, if you're one of the ones that don't want people to talk to you in that way, then you need to change what you are. You need to
Yeah,
change what you are because if it's about being a better you. You can still be you and not talk that way. But because if you don't want nobody to talk to you that way, you can't speak that way. So
mm,
if you feel something bad about the way people talking to you, then you have to change the way that you talk because they only
yeah,
responding based off of what you're saying.
yeah. I agree with that. Let me ask y'all a question though, because we all here, and I'm asking everybody. I want a group answer on this if y'all don't mind. Uh, there's gonna come a time, I believe, that all of us, STN, is gonna be on a different stratosphere as far as it comes with YouTube and sponsors and all that type of stuff, right? There's gonna what I'm trying to do basically is getting all even in my mind. I want it to be like this. I'm trying to cut out the things that might make people shy off from us. There are gonna be some white sponsorship that gonna come along that don't want to hear some of the things that we say when it comes to talk like that. That's all I'm looking at. I'm not looking at it. Don't bother me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When somebody
I mean,
say it to me, but
you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it as a place of business. If
yes,
you're
sir.
at work,
That's it.
and if you're at work and you don't speak that way, if you looking at YouTube as a business, you shouldn't speak that
Yeah,
way at your business.
that's what I'm saying.
But don't get it
That's
twisted
only
though.
that's only if you that's
Don't
only if you
people
look
like to
that
see that ignorant ish too.
no,
Don't
No,
get it
no. But
no,
what I'm
not
twisted.
saying, well,
They
everybody,
like
bro.
this.
I
Hold on, because I
understand that.
let y'all talk and I was quiet. Let me say my piece. I let y'all
But it's
talk
a
and I was
lie.
quiet. Them
It's a lot.
people, hold on. Y'all tripping. Them people love to see us crashing out. That's why things like those reality shows. I don't want to say that network name, but y'all know that network name where all them people be fighting on it. They don't care who you are, what you are, none of that stuff.
Zeus.
They glorify that. I don't want to say it, but they glorify that stuff, and people eat it up. And it be just as many of them
But
watching it, they give them the money,
let me ask you a
and
question
then
though, Price.
they
Hold on,
so
Price.
they like to see us
You got
crash out, entertain. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with
Price.
y'all at all. I'm
But
just
and guess
saying.
what the difference is? Guess what they just talked about the other day? I'm gonna break them down to you. First of all, they all look ignorant, and I don't want to be
Yes.
them. And there's a difference between
Mhm.
a Casa not and them. That's why they'll never be on his level or DDG or one of those people because of the things they continuously do. I don't want to be. Listen,
I
man.
don't know. That
I'm
guy
50.
from that
Hold on, hold on.
network, that guy from
Let me
that
say this.
network that y'all named is getting money.
But he ain't getting Casa not money.
Shoot, I don't know. I think that's
He not.
debatable.
I'm talking about if you on streaming. If you're
other than
streaming
Adrian Ross,
or online,
he the
go
biggest
look
nigga
the
in the
numbers up.
world. Excuse me.
Hey,
He the
real
biggest
quick,
nigga in the
real
world.
quick,
that comes as a form of selling out. That comes in a
Yeah.
form of selling out.
they're selling
If
your
you're gonna
soul.
go out,
Thank you, B3.
100%.
They're selling
if
your
you're
soul.
gonna if you're gonna
What's
go
that?
out and do that because you say, oh, they like that, they're gonna pay me money. You
Yeah,
sold out.
yeah.
At the end of the day,
Sold out.
be free. The clear channel has to clear it, and they clear it. Clear channel
Why we
owns
can't?
everything. They
But let me ask you a
them
question though.
people. Hold on,
Why we
CDK.
can't be
They them
those guys
people.
that don't
They
sell out?
they sold out. They sold. I don't disagree with none of that stuff y'all brothers saying. But all I know is they love to see us. They love that's entertainment for them people. Like
But
them
do you
certain kind
love
of
this?
people.
Do you love to see it? Do you
No, I
love to
don't.
see it?
Me, if you ask me the question, do I like? I despise it.
Right, bro. And I despise it, and I think everybody up here
Because
feel
I
the
feel
same
like
way.
this, CDK, all money ain't good money. Y'all be careful of
That's
some of that
it,
money
Brian.
y'all
You
walk
right,
around.
Brian. I agree
And
with
I'm
everything
gonna
you
go back
said.
on mute.
Can I ask you this real quick, CDK?
Yes, sir.
So this what I'll say. Now people know BVO do a lot of jokes to have a lot of fun, but I'll
Yeah,
be honest. Anybody that knows me pretty well know that I'm kind of leaning towards trying to be on some ministry stuff, right?
yeah.
And I guess I never used to say the N word as much as I do now, but because I don't cuss, I have a hard time connecting with the young guys. So when I seen Mace on It Is What It Is say nigga all the time, I said, oh, that must be the way to cut through to the youngsters. What do you guys think
No,
about that?
That's a cuss
no.
word, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Go
Hold on,
ahead,
hold
Chris.
on,
I ain't
wait
gonna
a
cut you
minute,
off.
hold on, wait a minute. Just
I,
because Mace do it, don't make that don't mean nothing.
right.
That's how he interact. The
That's
thing
a cuss
is
word.
hold on, real quick, Craig. And when we talking about interacting and the young or catching the ear of the youngins, right? We don't want them talking like that. We
Hold
don't
on.
want that, and because we don't want it, then what we gonna do? Just because if you feel that that's what allow you to connect with them, then I mean, and I'm not saying you're right or wrong. All I'm saying is that damn, excuse my language, forget that, forget it. The way you connect with these individuals is by, and we're not gonna do it from a channel. You have to do it in your community. You got to rock with
Right.
those in your community.
Right.
And when you rocking with them, I'm not gonna have my son saying some of the things I say up here with y'all. Ain't no way it ain't work. It don't work like that. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying? And so all I'm saying is that just because somebody says it doesn't make it right. Just because somebody feel that way or say whatever they're gonna say doesn't make it right. And we have to have the knowledge and the understanding that, man, that's not the only way to connect with them. Really, if you
So
really want to connect with the youngsters, you go
yeah,
connect with those individuals in the community.
that's
You
it.
don't connect with them online because, man, we old up here. I done been called
So,
I've been called OG, and I'm in my late 30s. I'm like, damn, I didn't even know I was unking OG. I didn't know.
oh yeah, you OG status now.
Yeah. I'm all of that. I'm all of that. Look, I call CDK. I be like, when I
I
talk to
felt they
CDK,
said I was unk status. The
hey, when I told CDK, I said, shout out, hey, CDK is unk to me now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He OG to me.
Crush me and Crush is unks now. We unks and OGs.
But
I feel like y'all OGs over. I feel like that young generation got that twisted because I feel like you and like Crush are the
It don't
OGs.
matter. It's
Y'all, I feel like
what you
I'm a
say.
unk and y'all the OGs.
it
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
matter what
yeah.
you think, though. It don't matter
Yeah.
what you think. Get why it don't matter. It matter what they think.
But think
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, that's a fact too. But I'm talking about me but I get it. You're right.
No. I'm
But
not
you know what?
disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that
Yeah, nah, and
at
I'm
the
not
end,
disagreeing
at
with you.
the,
You're right.
at the end of the day, it don't matter what we think.
Yeah, it's what they think.
Bro,
It's what they
hey,
think, and that's
you
the
right,
beauty.
Doug.
That's the beauty in it is that we have a platform now, especially what we doing with STN. Especially that we have a platform where we kind of can we can mix in between, if that makes
Yep.
sense. and then still be able to say, all right. Shout out to my brother Hot Rod. You know what I'm saying? He called me OG. I'm like, man, I ain't. You the only person who ever called me OG. At least the OG is one level, Unc is another level. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
under,
yeah.
I understand what he's saying when he says what he says. I
I feel like
understand.
that's just the way he talk. You know what I mean?
You
But
got to
the
be
thing
careful
is
with the young
that
guys too, because if they call you like Unc, it's
Anybody older
also
than
like
my bad.
for
That'd be
kind
true.
of like an old base head.
but 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 the thing is it's not that. It's that the real thing is that, man, at least the brother Rocky, you know what I'm saying, and he listening, and shout out to him. Shout out to all the young guys, man. Shout out to
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
them because they don't necessarily have individuals to look up to, and I'm not saying anybody in particular anything like that. I'm just saying that they don't always have that, and so then we give a lane and a perspective and a certain type of guidance that, okay, yeah, I could crash out a little bit, but I can't really crash out with Doug because, man, he gonna call me out of order. That's what he gonna do.
yeah,
Y'all
yeah,
know, and that's how we gotta maintain that. Nah, you got a great perspective, and we want to hear your perspective, but you got to be in order. You got
yeah,
to be in order around here, and people respect that. They respect that in order stuff, and they respect law. It's crazy
Yeah.
to me. One of the reasons I talk about being in order about this thing is because shout out to Eric Mays. Um, one he was an individual that I could listen to. I don't always agree with everything that Eric Mays
all
say.
day.
I don't always agree with it, but at the
Yeah.
same time, get what? He know the rules, and get what? He gonna be in order.
Yeah,
Show live.
I mean, every dub. The thing is, when a young guy call you an OG, it's not disrespectful. It's actually respectful because
Yeah,
the OG are the ones that they said those are the guys that paved the way. Those are the guys is the reason why we're able to do what we're doing. That's how it came. It came from the street level of OGs, and they were the ones that was there first, and they showed the young guys how to move. So it's
yeah,
out of respect when they call you an OG. It's not out of disrespect. So when people call me OG, like Hot Rod, he called me OG all the time. I don't take it as disrespect. I take it as respect because I'm one of the guys that he respect and he looked to for advice or certain things or whatever have you. However he looked at me, it's not out of a disrespect form. It's out of a respectful form.
A
yeah.
100% free. I agree with that 100%.
I
It's a
agree.
respectful for him because ultimately, I mean, if he was being disrespectful, he would call you old head. You know,
Yep.
so the OG is the OG
Well,
is
that's
really
not
respectful for
necessarily
sure.
true, B3, because in Philly they say old head, and that is no
Yeah,
disrespect.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
no disrespect in Philly. Okay, fair enough.
No, it's no
It's
disrespect
not
here in
either here.
Philadelphia.
In Tennessee, they say old head in a respectful manner too. I'm
Right.
gonna say that, but I'm gonna say this right here too, son. Do you want to be known as an OG for doing foolish stuff, or be known as an OG because you change things? I listen. Like people look at me in different ways. Okay, the people that know me now, they know that I changed my life and I'm on a different path. But I made this true story. I stopped in the project today, man. Seen a bunch of guys that I used to mess with.
You went out, CDK.
Hold on, what happened?
I
Is it
think
me?
CDK fell down the steps. Hold on one second.
Oh man,
Uh,
don't wish that on the good brother.
no, he good,
But
bro.
real quick, even and just
I
going
ain't
off,
wishing on it. I was saying
I
he
know
might
I'm
have
messing
fell
with
down
you,
the
bro.
steps.
I'm messing with
but going off of what CDK was saying, I call Crush my OG. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
it's no disrespect whatsoever. It's a level of admiration. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, hey, Crush, just being honest, me and him, we didn't talk a lot as far
you.
as boxing, real life. We didn't talk a lot, and so I got a level of admiration for Crush. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, and it's crazy that I'm saying this now, but I'm gonna just be honest about it. My stepson, I told him, I said, hey man, you gonna run my channel for me? He said, man, they gonna be calling you this, that, whatever. I said, that's fine. Is that a bad thing? And get what he said. Nope, it just gonna show you that they like you. That's how he looked at it.
Right.
And so, my whole thing is that that's how you connect with these guys. When we talking about the youth, it don't have to be about the word or using the N word or it ain't got to be about none of that. All it got to be about is getting to know them and then helping them flourish in what they got going on. It's funny because my son now, I think I told y'all this, but he's starting to want to play basketball. He gonna be a star. He gonna be a star, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But his friends, when his friends come around, get what they say? Man, we appreciate you, OG. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know if they should be calling me OG yet, but I love it. I love it because that's his friends. You know what I'm saying? That's how they look at me, which is cool.
Hey, Dub, real quick.
Uh-huh.
One of the reasons why you get called the OG a lot of times, they said off your energy, man. They said off your energy. I ask young boys because a lot of them call me OG. Not a lot of them I don't really know like that. You understand what I'm saying? So I ask them, why you call me OG? Because I look older. You know I'm older. He's like, no. Like because you always giving game. Opulent says something. Always giving them game. That was always me. Giving them
Mm-hmm.
game, giving them some positive advice. Even the street guys, no matter if they ain't want to hear it or not, they heard it. So that's one of the main reasons, because that's a real OG. You know, doing the right things, doing positive things. Now, from the street side of things is because you survive the streets, you know face life or death a few times, this, that, and the other. So it's two sides to it, but it's about why they calling you OG. You know what I mean? And for me, it's because I've been around a lot. I did a lot of things, not because I'm a killer. I ain't no killer. I ain't no gangster. I ain't none of that. The whole city will tell you, man, that's a stand-up dude. He stay in his own lane. He don't bother nobody. But there's a caution sign. You know what I mean? But it's about how you carry yourself. You know what I mean? And a lot of times people respect you for how you carry yourself, not for exactly what you do. You know what I mean? So it's about how you carry yourself in the type of advice that you give people, and the type of energy that they feel, you know, when you're around them, those type of things. You know what I mean? So they the most important thing. So I understand why the reasons why I get called the OG. Some of my friends that's older than me call me OG because I done told them some things that they never knew about. And it's all about learning from someone. So it's not a bad thing, man. It's not a bad thing at all. They say you old as, that's when you know it's disrespectful. Probably know what I'm talking about, because Philly people, they gonna let you know if they
Mm-hmm.
calling you old or calling you OG. They gonna call you go get out of here. You old as, you know what I mean? Get out of here. You old, man.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're calling you OG, or they saying uncle, or even with the females, they call them auntie. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Like Wise Sports Betting said.
yeah, so it's about that. So long as you understand why someone is calling you OG, you understand it and you agree with it, don't mind it. And actually, the OGs, the age is getting younger. Before it used to be 40, now it's 35. That's the
Yeah,
it has
yeah,
gotten
yeah,
younger.
yeah.
Dang.
Hey,
I'm
Craig,
not telling no fib,
no,
y'all.
that's the truth. I tell you, and the craziest thing is though, the individual that say it, those are individuals, in my personal opinion, those individuals who looking for um, knowledge, for looking for information. You know what I'm saying? One of the reasons I call Crush OG because me and Crush we did an interview. Well, we did a 3-part interview, right?
Yeah.
And some of the things that he brought out in that, I ain't had nothing to say. I couldn't respond to it. All I could do was listen because it was brilliant. You know what I'm saying? So I think it goes more into, and even with these young kids today, I think it goes more into the information that you're providing and the credibility that you have. Are you a
Yeah.
credible source? Are you credible? Can I take what you're saying and utilize it in life? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the most important thing right now. I think that's really what we should be focusing on.
Yeah, I'm 100%.
They call
Outside
I
of
him
that,
agree. I agree.
they call him Wide Sports Son. He's 30 years old. And they call
That's
him a
crazy.
30G. See,
And,
now
and
guess
shout
what?
out
I'm 30. I
Vegas.
said 35 and then went to 30
Hey,
that
no,
quick.
y'all know what the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life? I was just watching. Y'all ever
Oh, there
seen
you go with that
Safari?
laugh,
Y'all ever
man.
seen Safari on the Breakfast Club freestyling?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Charlemagne.
yeah, yeah. I seen that. I seen that.
And
I seen that.
Charlemagne said, nah, that ain't it, man.
That
That's
ain't
not
it.
it.
That
That
ain't it.
ain't it.
That ain't it,
He
dog.
was like,
That
that's a
ain't it.
diss track to you, Charlemagne. That joint was super awkward, yo.
Hey,
But
speaking,
the look on his face, like he really
all right,
said something. I'm like,
I gotta ask y'all this
nah,
real
that's
quick.
not it.
what up, B3?
Do y'all think that the young boy can, like, y'all know, like, everything kind of evolves, but you know, like, old trends become new trends. So, like, Will was that guy at one point. Do y'all feel like a clean cut image, no cursing? Can that evolve into like a new generation type of thing where people are, like our people, maybe the culture being more respectful, being more, you know, charming, being cognizant of how they look, you know, their surroundings, how they treat people, their mannerisms. Do y'all
It
brothers
can,
feel like it can go that way?
If I can
it
answer,
can
yeah, go ahead,
it
B3. You
can
got it.
yeah it can if enough people start acting like that, but it would
Yeah.
never do it. It would never go that way, but it can. It won't never do it because too many people are they too busy praising the street level.
Exactly. And that's the add on to what D3 said. It's up to the industry. Because remember, they changed the algorithm of the music. You know, at one
Yeah.
point in time, there was positive hip hop and positive rap out there, but Will
Mm.
was one of the very few guys that was out there in the rawest times. You know, when everybody was hitting hard with it, so it was out there. You had those groups, you had the X Clans, the you know, the Public Enemies, and so forth. You know, your Kid and Plays, your Biz Markies, and so forth. So you had that, but you know it's up to the industry,
Who
and that could be a change coming because
that
you know
I was gonna ask who is the two well I wouldn't say biggest rappers but biggest stars that did rap that never cursed on their album.
the two biggest that never cussed.
Yeah,
That'd
the
be
biggest
Um,
Will
stars.
Smith.
Will Smith, of course,
Yep.
and I would say hmm, ooh, I got a couple to think about. It
I'm
ain't
trying
just
to
me.
think of one.
You may not agree with this one, but I give you this guy, Heavy D.
Man, I love Heavy D.
I would say Heavy D, but he wasn't bigger than the guy that I'm thinking of. It
Go
was
ahead, give me
Will
two or
Smith.
three.
It was Will Smith and LL, the two biggest
Okay.
stars that never cursed on their album.
No, L was cussing on his joints.
No,
I thought
he
he
cursed
was.
now. He cursed now. He wasn't cursing when he first came out.
Man,
When
I'll
LL
cuss.
before LL went to Hollywood, LL didn't curse
Nobody
on his
can rap
album.
quite like I can. I take a muscle bound man, but I'm just trying to go through his songs in my head.
No,
He
he did.
slid a
I
couple
had
little
all
joints
his
in
albums.
there.
I had all his albums.
No,
The
The
no. What about
original,
when he
original.
said, "Hey, hey, free"? What about when he said, "If you think you can out rap me, boy, I bet," because I ain't met a mother who can do that yet.
yeah, that's on the I'm Bad album.
Yeah, he cussed in.
Did he
He
say?
cussed in,
Did
didn't
he
he,
curse
Crutch?
on that one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't.
he cussed
yeah,
on that. He cussed on the original Jiggling Baby. He changed the lyrics up
yeah,
to the beat. Uh,
yeah,
uh he cussed on I Shot You. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
oh, you know, L get nasty with the
He
mouth.
cussed it. He cussed on doing it well.
Doing it well. Oh, what? He
Yeah,
went
I
in
know.
yeah.
on it.
I know he did. I
Little
know he started cursing after he went Hollywood. I know he started
No,
cursing
he
after he
did.
went
No,
Hollywood.
he definitely cussed free on that. If you think when he said, "If you think you cannot rap me, boy, I bet," because I ain't met a mother who can. He said the
Yeah.
cuss word right
I
then.
heard him
He
say.
did.
I mean,
I
you
got
sure he
another
said
one.
mother or did he say
No,
nigga?
no, he said mother. He said the whole word.
Yeah.
That was my song right there. He said the whole word.
You jingling, baby. Go ahead,
He
bitch.
said, "No,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about." He said Heavy D was bigger than Will Smith. Well, I said biggest star, not biggest rapper. Biggest star, not
No,
rapper.
no, Will Smith was definitely bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Heavy D is a bigger rapper. As far as rapper, if you look at just
That
rapping career,
that's
Heavy
up
D is
that's
bigger
up for
than Will
debate
Smith.
too.
Run
Huh?
DMC did cuss a little bit. Run was a little.
Yeah,
Run used to cuss. Okay.
yeah.
Run
I
I
don't
used
said
think
to
that's
free.
much of a debate.
Between
Yeah,
Heavy D, I come from that era. Between Heavy D and Will Smith,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
that's
know
up
definitely
for
Will.
push
the.
Will
I
That's,
know
Smith
Will
as
Smith was. I
rapping,
know Will Smith was
as
I'm
hip
talking
bigger
about
hop.
for
rapping.
sure.
I'm talking about
Hip
rapping. That's
hop.
up for
Now I'm
debate.
not talking
That's up
about
for
Will
debate.
Smith the movie star. Will Smith the rapper.
I'm talking about Will Smith, the rapper. That's
I
up for
agree with
debate.
D. I agree with D Freezy. I feel like
Who won a okay, Brian?
Heavy D had way more hits
Who
than
won a
Will did.
Grammy? Who won a Grammy? Who won a Grammy, Brian?
I'm not talking award. I'm talking about rapping and
No, no,
hits.
no, no.
See, I don't want to get into
Free know what
accolades.
I'm free and crush know what I'm saying. They
No,
from
I
that
know
era.
what you're saying.
No, you don't.
Not free and
No, you
crush.
don't.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
No, you
Hold
don't.
up.
Because
I
Will
definitely
Smith on
do.
that level.
Hold up.
He
Not
on that
rapping.
level.
He didn't
Hold
even
on,
On
write
y'all.
his. He didn't even
Hold
write
on,
half his
y'all.
stuff.
I don't care about
No,
none of
y'all.
that.
Right, he
Hold
wrote
on,
a
y'all.
lot of his
Hold on,
stuff,
y'all.
man.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
he
y'all.
did.
Man.
I don't think Will Smith was bigger than Heavy D as a rapper. He had a lot of hits. Nobody really took Will Smith serious as a rapper.
Yeah, but
Heavy
Pryor
D.
tried to make it seem like dude was much
Nah, he
sausage.
not.
So I don't know.
He not like that. But compared to Heavy D is a way better rapper ever than Will
I
Smith
like
can
Heavy
be.
D, but I'm telling you that they both was like on that level right there when it came to rapping back in the days. People listen to all that summertime
I
stuff.
don't feel.
Man,
Yeah, that's one
that was
song.
hits.
No.
Name me a
I
song. Hold
think.
on, hold on. Name me a song that hit harder than summertime for Heavy D. One song.
Well, that's tough. That's tough to do. Summertime is a
Right.
Yeah,
Mount
That's all I'm
summertime is a
Rushmore
saying,
rap
Brian.
song.
That's a summertime anthem. That's a summertime
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
anthem
all I'm
because
saying, Brian. I ain't
yeah.
disagreeing with you.
nobody had a song about summertime
Big.
when Will Smith
Yeah,
came out with it. That was a summertime anthem.
that record is
Yeah,
a major record. That's
yeah,
hard
it's
to
a
go
major
to.
record.
Heavy D had a lot of. Oh yeah, KRS One is another one that didn't curse.
Yeah,
He is another one that didn't.
Chris didn't cuss a lot.
Yeah.
Nah, he ain't cuss a lot, though.
But going back to Heavy D real quick, man.
Yes, sir.
Overweight Love in the House was a major hit. It
I
got
love
Yeah.
that song. I love that song.
listen, it got just as much rotation as Summertime.
But that summertime won a Grammy. That's all I'm saying, Chris. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's in the war. I ain't worried about wars because
No,
50 Cent,
No,
50
they
Cent
understand what I'm
didn't win.
saying. Prize,
Fifty
you're not
Cent
looking
shouldn't
at
have
the
got an
fact.
award.
hold on, CDK. Hold on, CDK. What you
Okay.
have to realize. What you have to realize. Will Smith got a lot of notoriety for his albums because he was acting at the same time he was putting his albums out. So
Yeah,
he
I
got a
agree.
lot of
I agree with all
notoriety.
that. I ain't tripping.
But hold
I ain't telling about wrong.
up, CDK. But when we come to far as rapping and when people look at in the hip hop hip hop culture, they look at Heavy D as a better rapper than Will Smith. Yes, Will
Yeah.
Smith sold a lot of
I do
records,
too.
but a lot Will Smith sold a lot of records, but nobody took Will Smith serious as a rapper. His notoriety came from him doing TV shows and movies. Because
Right.
if you look at every one of his big hits was during him doing a TV show or a movie. You had
Let me ask you a question
Summertime.
though, Free.
That
What
Summertime
movie
came out
was
when he
he
was
in
doing
when Summertime came out? Because I can't
Summertime.
remember.
He was doing Fresh Prince of Bel Air when Summertime came out.
Summertime
He was
came
doing,
out before Fresh Prince.
no, it did not. It came out the same time he did Fresh
Go
Prince.
show it to him. I mean,
It
if
came
I'm
out the
wrong, I'm wrong.
same.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Somebody pull it up.
I'm telling you, it came out the same year that he did Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Did it
Summertime
come
came
out
out the
first?
same year.
Did it come out first though?
I believe Fresh Prince of Bel Air came out first.
No, Summertime came out first. That Summertime is what got him the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. That's what moved him on to that level.
No, it
Okay.
didn't. What
Well,
got him?
hey, Crush,
What got
pull
him?
it up, Crush.
I can tell you what got him the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. It was Nightmare on My Street. That's what
Okay,
got him
I'll
the
take
Fresh
that.
Prince of
But
Bel
they
Air.
came out before it.
Well, Fresh Prince came out in
And
1990 and
when
Summertime
he
came
did,
out in 91.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah,
said if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I
Hey
ain't
man,
left
y'all,
over.
I'm just gonna be hold on, I'm just gonna be honest. Y'all out of order, man. We don't give a damn about none of this. Y'all out of order.
Hey, on that note,
That's crazy.
on
when
that
he
note,
did
let's get ready. Let's get ready to go to Dub Right Side tonight. We got
Yeah.
my man B3 Picks gonna be on there, and we out of here, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.
I want to run.